Naila, why is English language important to learn?
This is because English language is an international language and is widely followed and understood by people across the world.
I want to learn this language.
To learn every language, there are some skills to develop. Follow this class to learn these skills.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Viewers of MTA and class, we welcome you to our English program, English Language for Junior High School. The last time we met, we had series of lessons in grammar. We are going to have the series 2 of the program on our channel MTA Africa. Class, I welcome you to the program for this series. Our series 2 will be looking at essay writing that we mostly do in our schools. Our previous programs were based on grammar. We shall look at the composition, that is the essay writing, for this series. Our lesson 1 today is going to be on the topic, the general guidelines on essay writing. We need to guide ourselves on how to write essays. We have several kinds of essays that we write in school. So we are going to give a general guidelines on how to write these essays at any time at all we are faced with. Let's look at the objectives for our lesson. It is the hope that by the end of the presentation, you will be able to, 1, identify the forms and types of essay. We have different types of essay, so we shall try to identify them. We'll also be able to state at least 2 reasons for writing. And then we'll also be able to identify the required stages involved in writing. If you want to write something, there are stages we go through in writing them. So we shall also look at that. And then we shall also try to come out with the purpose of an essay in an examination. Every essay you are writing has a purpose. You should be able to identify the purpose before you start writing. And then after having identified our purpose, we shall also try to build the point that will help us to write our essay. So these shall be our objectives for the lesson today. Let's look at types of essay. We have formal essay and then the informal essay. Under the formal essay, we have the following. We have formal letters, we have articles, we have debate writing, we have speech, then we have report writing, we have drawing of programs. And then the last one on the formal essay is minutes writing. These are things contained in the syllabus for the JHS for us to study. So in this program, for this series, we shall try as much as we can to identify each of them, see how we can write them. Then under the informal one, we have the informal letters, we have the narratives and descriptive. Then we have stories. Then we have argumentative essay. Argumentative essay is the informal form of the debate. The formal is debate. The less formal is argument. Then we have talks. The formal is the speech. Speech is more formal than talk. Then we have dialogue. These also form part of the informal essay that you are supposed to know within your level. So we shall also look at these ones as well. But before we continue, let's look at what an essay means. When we talk of essay, what comes to mind? When we talk of composition, essay means composition, or you simply put it essay writing, as you put essay writing, or composition. What comes to mind? Yes, when we say essay writing, what comes to mind? We've tried identifying some, both the formal and the informal. But in general, when we are saying, if you say, I'm going to write an essay, what mostly comes to mind? Yes, Hafiz, an idea?
When you're going to write an essay, what comes in mind is that what you have in your mind, you're going to compose it.
Okay. Let's look. When we say an essay, what it generally means is that we mostly talk, we share ideas. We do several things to share ideas and our feelings as human beings. Do you understand that? For example, right now, I'm sharing an idea with you and to those of our viewers at home. When you feel something, you want someone to know what you feel or how you feel. Example, in normal situations at school, someone does something and you're unhappy. You have a way of showing it out so that the person doesn't repeat that action. At times you are excited, you are happy about what has happened, and you wished that it happens more. You have a way of expressing these feelings. So human beings, we constantly express feelings, we constantly share ideas with others. We say not only in human beings, but even in animals and plants. Animals share feelings as well as in plants. There are certain aspects of plant study that has proved that they also have the ability to share some kind of feelings. That is why pollination is possible. We say human beings will have several ways of sharing ideas and feelings. If you want to share an idea to someone or a feeling to someone, there are several ways you can do that. Let's take our mind to some of the ways we mostly try to share ideas with people. What do we mostly do? Should we want to share an idea with someone? Yes. Josefa, how do you share your ideas with someone? What are the ways you mostly employ in sharing ideas with someone?
So by telling the person orally.
By telling the person orally. Okay, that's one example we mostly do. Yes. What other ways do we have? Apart from sharing the ideas orally. Orchard?
Sir, please, by writing a letter.
You can also write. But there are times we will share ideas, we don't talk, we don't write. Does it happen? Do we have situations where we share ideas, but we don't write, we do not talk? Do we have such situations? You don't know. Okay, let's go on, you'll get to know. Some of the ways include sign language. We give signs. For example, if you were seated and I do this, what would happen? If I do this, what does it mean? It should come. And if I give this sign, it should go away. So we share ideas through and feelings by the use of sign language. Then gestures. We show some facial expressions. We show certain signs on our body to either agree or disagree. Right? For example, you say something and I begin to look at you in a very stern way. You get to know, no, this gentleman is angry. When you are happy, you show some kind of gesture on your face. And what do? You show some kind of smiles. So it's also part of ways of sharing ideas. Then speech, as you mentioned. We talk orally to people. Like we are doing right now, we are sharing ideas. And we are doing it by talking. And then we write as well. When we want to share ideas, we write. We write. What we are saying is that one method that has the potential to stay for a long period of time is by writing. If you use a sign language, it is at that very moment is useful. A few minutes after that, the sign language was made to might have even forgotten, it's gone. Anyone who wasn't present will not even see the sign language. Right? Good. But when you write something down, even if you are dead, that document will be there for reference at a later time. So writing is very, very important in our life. Very, very important. When you write something down, it stays forever. It stays for a very long time before it vanishes. That is why we always encourage people to write important things. You write them down. So writing is very important. One reason we write is that it stays for a very long time. That's why in school you put down notes. I say when ideas and feelings are shared through writing, it is simply termed essay. So when we talk of essay, don't take your mind to a very complex situations. No. Anytime you decide to share ideas, to share your feelings, by writing it down, you are simply doing the work of an essay. Do you get me? Good. Have we ever done this before? We share ideas with someone or feelings with someone through writing. Okay, you give me some examples of such situations you've done before. Who do I start with? Okay, let me start with your name? Ajara. Good. Yes, tell us a situation where you shared feelings or ideas by writing.
In examination.
In an examination. Okay. To whom? What did you write about?
About yourself.
Whose self?
Myself.
You wrote about yourself. To whom?
To the teacher.
Okay. The teacher to mark, right? Yes, Sarah?
Sir, please, by writing letters to our friends.
You wrote letters to your friends?
Yes, sir.
At where?
Sir.
I mean, where are your friends? Those friends you wrote to, where are they?
Those who are outside the country.
Outside the country?
Yes.
Okay, you wrote some letters to them?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Josefa?
So I wrote a letter to my uncle.
Okay. Where? In Ghana or?
In Takoradi.
In Takoradi. Takoradi is Ghana. It's part of Ghana. Your uncle is in Takoradi.
Yes, sir.
So you wrote a letter to him.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, Orchard.
Please, to a teacher.
To a teacher.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then Hafiz?
I wrote a letter to Huzur.
Huzur. Okay. Good. To those of our viewers who do not know what Huzur is, Huzur is a spiritual head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim mission worldwide. Okay, so these are situations that require us to write things. We say, tell us what you do whenever you are to write an essay. You've all given us examples of situations where you wrote something to someone. When you were to write, what did you do? What are the things you did that helped you to write all those things you mentioned? Yes, Orchard, yes.
Please, the theme of the essay.
What did you write on?
So please, the point.
Yeah, you wrote something. When you were mentioning, you mentioned an example of what you wrote. What was it? What was you said theme, what was your theme?
So please, I was writing about my mother.
So how did you go about it? What did you do to raise your point?
So the description of.
How did you write it? What did you do to help you write that essay?
So please, the structure of the essay.
Mm-hmm.
It.
Was it a letter you were writing? Or you were describing your mother?
No. I was describing my mother.
You were describing your mother?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how did you go by that? What did you do to help you write? Okay, you are struggling. You see, it's a clear sign that you didn't plan. Straight away, you started writing. You started describing your mother. True or false? Okay. Yeah, you wrote a letter to Huzur. Hafiz, that's what you said.
Yeah.
So, what did you do to help you write the letter?
I wrote the address. The address.
Whose address?
That time I was in Jamia to Mubashirin.
Okay.
So I wrote.
Speak up.
I wrote the address of the school, Hafiz class. Then I wrote what I wanted, the help I needed from Huzu.
How did you write it? How did you go about it? Or if I will reframe it, what did you do to help you write all that you wrote? You certainly did something. If not, automatically it can't come out. Okay. You'll get to realize that what you did, you actually didn't take time to do it the way you should, or?
Yeah.
Okay. You wrote something to your teacher in an examination. Okay, and that is?
Descriptive essay.
You described what?
Myself.
You described yourself. How did you go about it? What are the things you did that helped you to describe yourself? Okay, Sarah. What did you also? You wrote to your friends.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, mention one of those letters
Sir,
you wrote.
I wrote about the surroundings and places of Ghana.
Okay. To a friend.
Yes.
Okay, so what did you do to help you write that? Okay. You don't know. You just wrote it. Josefa, you wrote to your uncle. On what?
So about my new school.
Okay, so what did you do to help you write such a letter? Good. You see, you're all struggling. This is what happens in most cases when people are writing, and especially with you students, both in secondary school and the JHS. Immediately you meet the question, you are in a hurry to just write. And then you end up writing nothing. So that you realize at the end of it, the marks you get, there are a lot of the teachers' red pen. True or false? Yes, and instead of you scoring the required marks, you end up getting very small, probably 10 out of 30, 15 out of 30. And then with lots of the teachers' red pen. These lessons should be able to help us stay away from such errors, right? So you pay attention very well. Okay. Haven't you known your sickness? We are now going to look for the medicine. So that you take it, and then you will never be sick again. Okay. We say that the writing of anything inside or outside classroom setting fall under what? Essay. To let you know that what we are doing is not just for classroom. No. Anytime at all you are writing, anytime you are to write, please do these things. Whether you are in the classroom, you are outside the classroom, you do these things. We say it should be noted that the underlying reason for writing is to what? Communicate. What is communication? When we say to communicate, what does it mean? The main reason we write is to communicate. What does it mean? Communicate is a verb form. Communication is a noun. What does it mean? Orchard, yes?
Please, like, chatting.
Fine, you have an idea. Yeah, let's just take what he said, and then you chat with people, right? With friends, with parents, with siblings. Assuming you meet a friend, and you say something, expecting a response, and your friend doesn't respond. What will happen? What will go through your mind? You meet a friend, you say something, you're expecting that your friend should say something in response, but your friend doesn't. What will go through your mind? Something will go through your mind. Either your friend is not happy, or you didn't say it well, or your friend didn't what? Hear you. Good. So when you are writing, have it at the back of your mind that you are communicating to what? Someone. The person must understand what you are saying. That's very important. Don't just think you are writing, no. But what you are writing, the person you are talking to should be able to understand what you are writing. We say that is to share ideas, feelings, or make a request and to be understood as required. Now you are writing. The person you are writing to is not present. And at the time the person will be reading, you, the writer, wouldn't also be present. In your cases, you wrote in an exam situation. At the time the teacher was reading, were you present? No. Was the teacher present when you were writing? No. Were your friends present when you were writing? At the time they will be reading, would you be present? No. And that applies to the rest of you, right? Good. Huzu wasn't present when you were writing, was he? And when he's reading, would you be present? How do you know that he understood you the way you wanted? How would you know your teacher understood you the way you wanted? And Sarah, how would you know that your friends understood exactly what you were writing? So that's very important. It should occupy your mind. You constantly ask yourself, this thing I'm writing, the way I want it to be understood, will the person who is going to read this understand it the same way? If no, please, then know that you are not communicating. Do you understand me? Yes. Let's say, for example, you ask someone to go and bring something. The person goes and brings a different thing altogether. It's not possible that the person has understood you. Good. We are saying that to do this effectively, your writing requires some amount of skills and planning. To be able to write very well for people to understand you, you have to plan. And you have to develop some skills. So anything done without proper planning never achieves the expected what? Result. So first thing you have to what? Plan. You have to plan first thing. We say the writing process should involve the consideration of the following. One, understanding of your purpose. You have to understand why you are writing. The one to receive your written message, the one who is going to receive, you need to understand the person in a way. We shall look at that one too. You need to also have proper planning of your paragraphs, and we shall also look at that. They are the same things that we have repeated them. And we say that the outline of the essay, you need to ask every essay has some features, some outline you need to know. So we shall also look at that. Then the writing itself, how you write it, we shall also come there. Then when you finish writing, you need to read over what you have written. We say never just start writing whenever you are faced with the task of writing. You want to write, and then all that you do is you are just in a hurry to what? Write. You have to go through all these processes. You understand your purpose. You must try to understand the one who is going to read your message. You have to plan your paragraphs. You have to understand the outline of your essay. Then the writing itself will now follow. So you see, you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4 before you start doing what? Writing. See the steps you have to go through. If you have not done 1, 2, 3, 4, and you go straight to this, you will not write a very good essay. Then when you are done with the 5th point, then you do the last one. Proof what? Reading, where you read over. We will take each of these and we shall study how it is done. And we're saying that when you go through the steps of planning, it makes you get closer to your goal. We say the clearer your goals to you, the faster you attain them. We say to do this, the reason behind our writing, first of all, to understand your purpose, you need to understand why you are writing. Do you get me? 1, what is motivating you to write? What at all is pushing you to write? This is how to understand your purpose of writing. Then what are you writing about? You ask yourself these questions. These things help you to get your purpose. Why should you write? Why is it important that you have to write? Then we say answers to these questions give the purpose for your what? Essay. When you have answers to this, you ask yourself, first of all, why are you writing? What is the reason for writing? You ask yourself that. This is the purpose. To get the purpose of your essay, ask yourself, why am I writing? What is the reason? What is pushing me to write? What am I even writing about? Why should I even write at all? These 4 questions help us to get our what? Purpose of the essay. And this is what you should have gone through when you were writing those things. Right? Good. And then we say at this level, our purpose could be any of the following. Either you are to give an information about something or someone. Mostly maybe you are narrating something to another person, right? Good. We will pause here because time is not on our side. And then next time we meet, we'll build our points on this. Viewers at home, we are most grateful for your time with us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.